Hi everyone, I'm Nadia, and in today's video I'm making a custom order 2-tier resin cake stand. Whenever I'm doing 3D flowers in resin, I like to use craft resin, and I'll leave a link to their resin along with a discount code in my description if you'd like to try them out. It's a 1-to-1 ratio by volume, so I pour the part A into 1 cup and pour the same amount of the part B into a second cup. And this is an easy way to make sure that you're pouring equal parts. Then I pour both parts into a larger cup and stir for several minutes. Once the parts are mixed together well, I separate it into smaller cups to add in my pigments. The first pigment I'm using is Pebio's Red Violet, and I'm adding a generous amount to make the color a bit more intense. Next, I'm using Just Resin's pigment paste in the shade Titanium White, and I always mix pigment pastes in the container first before applying some into my resin. Then, in a separate cup, I start to add in my gold leaf flakes, which will be the center detail. Now I'm ready to start pouring, and I start off by filling each mold with clear resin. I use a silicone makeup brush to help spread the resin to the very edge. And these tiers shouldn't be too thick or you'll have a hard time assembling the cake stand later. We've made cake stands that were too thick in the past and ended up having to sand the bottom center to allow the tiers to fit on the rod. I use a torch gun to pop any air bubbles, and I always move my torch gun very quickly so that I don't burn my resin or my molds. Then I start to add in my gold flakes into the center of the molds. And you can do this step before you pour your flower petals or after, depending on the look that you're going for. Since I added them first, they will get spread out while I'm pouring. If you'd like for them to be contained in one spot, you can add your gold leaf flakes at the end. Then I take my white pigmented resin and start pouring into the shape of flower petals. I want to say a huge thank you to my patrons who have joined. Your support means so much. And if you're interested in receiving extra tips from each video, exclusive content, behind the scenes, tips and tricks, and answers to any resin questions you may have, check out my Patreon linked below. Then I take my red violet pigmented resin and follow the shape of the flower petals, but this time I'm focusing on pouring it a little closer to the center. Then I add a few more flower petals again with my white pigmented resin as well as the red violet pigmented resin. And I make sure to pop any air bubbles with my torch gun. Now I'm taking a wooden stick and dragging it from the edge into the center between each flower petal. And I add in a little bit more of the gold leaf flakes. Here I am the next day demolding. I use an X-Acto knife to get rid of any lifted edges. Then I prepare them for their top coat, so I'm using my liquid latex and adding a layer onto the bottom of each tier. Then I use my silicone makeup brush to help spread it to the very edge. Then I mix in my resin once more. I heat up the surfaces with a torch gun, and this will help to get rid of any moisture or humidity that could potentially get trapped in the resin and cause a film. When you're top coating, you'll always want to check the humidity level and make sure that it's not too humid. I pour on my resin and use a silicone makeup brush to make sure that the resin has reached the whole area of the tier and spread it to the very edge. Here I am the next day removing the liquid latex. As always, I'll have all of the products that you see in this video listed in my description. I use a gold adding marker to add a gold trim. I allow that to dry and then start to assemble my cake stand. And here's the final product. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, subscribe to see more videos like this in the future. Follow me on my Instagram, Summer Girl Designs, and my mom's Instagram, Wild Heart Resin Art.